What's up? This is Trey, and this is Haley, my lady.
Hello.
And I guess we're gonna call this the Wicked Smoke Podcast, right?
Yep.
It's our first time. We really have no idea what we're doing,
We're
but we're gonna give it a
amateurs.
shot.
Complete amateurs. We don't know what we're doing.
We're gonna give it a shot, though.
We're just going to talk about MMA and whatever else is coming up during this smoke sesh and chill.
Yep.
That sounds good with me.
So I guess let's just get right into these fights this weekend.
Yeah. What did you think about the main event?
First of all, we should have been there. And we could have been there.
We
could have been there.
should have, could have, would have,
But we
can't
weren't
have.
there. We weren't there.
We couldn't have been there.
We should have been there. Because honestly, it was one of the best cards I've ever seen. Honestly, one of the best. It should have been a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
That was hands down,
I felt like I was watching a pay-per-view.
if not the best card I've ever seen, 100% the best card this year.
I think that's in the running for fight of the night. Kevin and Thompson.
It was fight of the night.
No, not fight of the night. Fight of the year.
I think it is fight of the
Fight
year.
of the night.
I think it is fight of the year.
There's been a lot of good fights this year.
So
And-
many.
This one, just all of the random things that happened in it is what makes this fight. I feel like it was cinematic. It was enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, I really enjoyed how much respect they had for each other. I was kind of nervous, leading into the fight, that all that respect, it was kind of gonna just be a clinch fest, kind of.
Oh.
But no, they actually brought it. I mean, it sucks Kevin broke his hand, but
No,
like
so did Thompson. So did Wonder Boy.
yeah, but Kevin's was bad. Those kicks were killing him.
Yeah, well, that you watched that interview with Ariel Helwani, and in that interview they were saying that that Thompson broke his hand in the second round, pretty much around the same time that Holland did.
Yeah,
But these guys,
Holland broke his in the first round for sure, though.
yeah,
And I caught it. I feel like I caught it.
I didn't catch it at first, and then when I watched it back, I definitely caught it. At first, I noticed it whenever he got out of the second or the third round, and he just kind of
Yeah,
checked
he
his
shook his
hand.
hand out.
I was like, oh no.
Yeah, it was bad. It would have been interesting to see him fight more. If he wouldn't have broke his hand, he definitely could have fought more.
Yeah.
Wonder Boy still would have been Wonder Boy's fight for sure.
Yeah, because at the time when I was watching that, I was thinking, why is he holding his arm so close to his body in the first round and second round? And then after that, I was like, his hand must be hurting or something. And then
Yeah.
I saw that, and I was like, something's wrong.
Yeah.
And I thought he threw up in the corner, but maybe it was just blood.
What do you think about how long he went with that broken hand? Because he fought for a really long time with that broken hand.
Yeah.
It wasn't until going into the fifth round or the end of the fourth,
Adrenaline.
and he was just like, "All right, get this off of me."
Yeah, adrenaline.
Yeah, I think he realized also, when he went back to his corner, there's no way I can win this fight.
But he didn't even go all 5 rounds, still fight of the night. There was nothing even wrong with. I was staring at him please fall out, get knocked out, just for the sake of your head, because he's getting smacked so much across the face.
He barely even got hurt. He's one of the toughest dudes I've ever seen. And I didn't even expect that. I didn't realize he had such a chin.
I know, and I've always liked Kevin Holland. And I like watching him fight and stuff. I think he's, interesting. And you kind of differ from me on that topic. I think it's more for show. He was hurt, and he couldn't really perform to the best of his ability. So the best thing to do is perform as well as you can and crack a couple jokes, make the audience be into what's happening with you guys. I don't know.
He's just got to take it a lot more serious than he did.
Yeah,
And every fight he goes into, it's almost like it's a joke to him. And I am a fan of Kevin Holland. Like, I love the dude. I think he's awesome.
He's a good guy.
I think he's a really good, like, a cool dude and everything.
Yeah.
But, like, there's so many people who kind of just half-ass everything. And I kind of am thinking that maybe he's one of those people. Like, and even when you listen to interviews, like, especially, like, older interviews, like, he openly admits he doesn't train 100%.
No, I've never. I would have to go back and look around.
And it's kind of frustrating, like, as a fan, to be so invested in someone. And I was one of those people, like, who was so
really
invested
at first.
in Kevin Holland. And, like, his last, 5 fights? 4 or 5 fights, he's just dropped the ball. Like, it feels like he's just not taking it serious at all.
Yeah. Well, it was still a great fight. There were some
100%,
crazy things in it, like the weird stoppage where it looked like Dan was waving his hand, like calling it instead of doing a time. What was all? I mean,
it should have been over right there, to be honest.
I mean, if he
that
called
should have been
it,
the end of it.
If he called it, I mean, he really only went like how many more minutes before he even himself was just like, I'm done now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I give him props for obviously,
Oh,
hanging in
definitely.
there.
He's one of the toughest dudes I've seen.
It's insane.
I wasn't expecting to see that.
I love fights like that. Just so much, like, passion. Like when you're just pounding somebody up.
Yeah.
It's nice.
I like how I think how Stephen Thompson can like a lot of fighters, they have to like flip a switch to get into like fight mode. But like Stephen Thompson, like, he was just nice the whole way through, but he still beat the shit out of Kevin Holland.
Well, he said that.
And he was like nice the whole way through it. It was just pretty cool to watch, honestly.
Yeah, I like the sportsmanship.
Yeah.
I like that. That's really nice to watch in any fight. I like that sportsmanship.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Also he was saying on that interview with Ariel that he was just saying sorry the whole time. He's like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
What do you think about how accurate his kicks are? And at 39 years old. Like, that's 6 years younger than my dad. Could you imagine my dad doing something like that?
I love your dad. No.
And my dad's in good shape,
He is in good shape. He looks like this.
But, like, dude, he's built different.
Yeah.
And he's been doing it since a little kid, like 4 years old.
Yeah, it's just crazy. It's like either it's just in you a certain way or another way. Because, like, I feel like with me getting into training and stuff, I worry that, I'm going to be not enough one way and too much the other way. Like, I'm too nice, but I could be too mean. So I'm just kind of like, oh, I'm there. But I think, like, my personality is kind of geared towards, like, Wonder Boy's personality.
Yeah.
I think that if you said something that, like, during a fight and it was funny, I would kind of be like, that was funny. Like, I think I don't have that. I can turn it on and off, that switch.
I feel like, and this is just me, like, I've never trained to fight or anything like that. I mean, but I would have to have that switch. Like, I would have to flip a switch to fight somebody, like to stand in front of somebody and beat the fuck out of them. Like,
Okay.
That's the only. I would have to hate you to do it.
That's the only way.
Yeah.
Why,
I would have to convince myself that I hate you.
You're too nice.
But I can watch it. And I don't have to worry about flipping the switch.
Because you watch it. Yeah. Well, like, I love, like, when we're watching it, just how passionate both of us are, just like, oh, what's happening, trying to call everything. And, like, when you were talking about the kicks, I was watching for about, like, 30 seconds at the ground just hoping he would throw a kick, trying to watch his footing. And it's so fast, you almost can't even see it on camera.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like,
he's so fast.
Whoa.
And he's
This
30,
guy.
and he's 39.
This guy. And he was talking about how he kind of went out there with this big, like, want to prove that he's not old. Like everyone says he is. He's like, I'm not old.
Well, for me, this fight, like, before this fight, like, all I could think was, this will be the fight that determines if Stephen Thompson still has it or not, and he 100% still has it.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was wild. One of the best fights I've ever seen.
Fight of the year for sure.
What do you think about RDA? Did you expect that to happen?
Yes.
Yeah, I did too.
I think that
we had a lot of we had family over this weekend watching fights.
That's what I was gonna
And nobody, like, I feel like me and her were the only people in the room who, like, expected a finish like that. I actually expected it to happen earlier.
What round was this again?
Yeah, he finished in the second round, I believe. Right?
Earlier?
Yeah, RDA is a great wrestler. He's such a good wrestler.
How do you feel
and he's
about?
strong.
How do you feel about?
Like, did you see how he just, like, he's strong.
Yeah,
he's very strong.
How do you feel about RDA and Conor McGregor?
I think that RDA should stay away from Conor McGregor.
I don't know.
And I'm not really a Conor fan, but I don't think that's the best fight for Rafael.
When I was first coming into this, like, MMA world, it was through a Conor fight. Like, every other... but I'm like, now I can kind of be like, oh, Conor, I don't really, you're on that powder, and I love it, but I don't love it. Like, you're living your best life. I ain't hating, but...
Did you see his tweet that he came out with tonight?
It was gibberish.
That was fucking wild.
Can someone translate that?
I have no idea. I tried.
I
read it like 6 times.
I thought about putting it into Google Translate and typing the translation for it would have to be like red-headed angry man, click, and then it translates and it's kind of like, fuck yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
You think so?
I think that Conor McGregor needs help. Serious help. And I too, starting out was a Conor fan. Actually, the first fight I ever watched was DC and John Jones. The second one.
I love DC, but also
and that's like the first full card I ever watched, and that's what got me hooked. But then, of course, after that, it was Conor McGregor, because I started really getting into things, and of course, you can't avoid Conor McGregor when you start researching MMA.
Especially whenever you got into MMA, that was during his reign. That was during whenever he was getting in it.
But I would like to see him get some help.
Yeah.
Because he's got the potential to be great again. But he's got to get off of whatever he's on. And he's got to stop trying to beat up old people.
Why are you rolling up into McDonald's in your freaking Gucci flip-flops, sir?
I would do that.
At 3 a.m. in the morning?
Why wouldn't he?
Why?
Because he can.
I guess because you have money, but that's where us poor people go.
He's Conor McGregor.
Because you can't make us poor people feel worse when you show up in Gucci flip-flops to the McDonald's when I'm trying to eat my sandwich. That's why that post bothered me. I was like, I would be like, come on, Conor, can you at least buy me a Happy Meal? You're gonna come up in here in some Gucci flip-flops. Please get me a Happy Meal.
So I have an idea.
Okay. Tell me this idea.
And everyone else should let me know what they think.
Okay.
But Jack Black should replace Joe Rogan as a commentator.
Joe Rogan?
Yes.
But Jack Black, he is funny when he's commenting.
Funny. He probably wouldn't be that biased. definitely not as biased as Joe Rogan. We would not have to hear that Joe Rogan grunt and scream ever again. We
But
wouldn't have to see that.
But it's that's kind of part of the UFC. It comes with a package. He's like he comes with the UFC. He just does.
Yeah.
You can't get rid of him. But we can add.
We could just add Jack Black and see how that goes for a little bit.
He's Joe Rogan's that marketing tool. Just let him be.
Well, Jack Black.
Let him be like
Jack Black. He could just be the substitute every once in a while.
Because honestly, when I was listening to him earlier, what did he say?
He was commentating. Or not. He was like watching along the Wonder Boy and Holland fight.
Yes.
And it was hilarious. Y'all got to go check it out.
Yeah, that was hilarious. I've always liked Jack Black. He's just so funny.
He said, "Oh, but the Kung Fu Panda's still in it."
Yeah.
Talking about Kevin Holland.
Yeah. He was talking about the nut shot. That's what that commentary was. Do you feel like that we'd have to rewatch it a couple more times to see where it was at? Because I felt like it was right there and I couldn't really tell.
Me personally, I've watched it 3 times already.
Yeah.
And probably tonight before I go to bed, I'm going to watch it a 4th. Because I'm just kind of crazy like that.
I know.
When it comes to these fights.
You're like, good night. Fights. I'm like, we just watched him 10 minutes ago. What are you talking about?
But so far, from what I've seen, that was definitely, and not a nut shot, but it hit the cup. 100% it hit the cup.
Maybe it raised the cup, and the cup is what got him.
Yeah, that definitely hurt. But also,
sorry for men sometimes.
Kevin Holland should have taken 5 minutes. Think about it. He had 5 minutes.
I disagree.
No, he had.
State your statement, please.
He had 5 minutes. Like, that's a whole other round. That's a whole round to recover.
Honey.
And
no.
He could have came back. He could have gotten a little bit. He could have just rested up just a little bit.
No,
and he could have tried. He could have made a comeback.
No, sir. Let me tell you why.
But also, that right hand was done.
Honey,
he was done.
If he would have taken 5 minutes, then Stephen Wonderboy is taking 5 minutes as well, who was in a phenomenal shape at that moment. Except for his hand, which he said he never even felt until way after the fight when he took his glove off.
That's a good point.
You're giving this guy more time.
That's a good
just
point.
So he can come back and beat the shit out of you?
That's a good point.
I know.
And if I'm being honest, that's me holding on to some hope. But if I'm being honest, Stephen Thompson is way better than Kevin Holland. And it showed. It definitely showed this weekend.
I definitely like both of the guys still a lot.
Definitely. But Kevin Holland, he's got to take this serious. I don't know if he's got maybe the wrong team around him or what it may be, but he's got to learn to take this serious. And just I don't know. Maybe not joke around so much.
Maybe
I know that's it. Maybe his personality, but inside the octagon in a fight, maybe let's tone it down just a little bit and realize that we're in a fight. Yeah. We're in a fight.
Not everything. I understand. It was too much antics.
So much money on the line right now.
It was too many antics for you.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah.
I agree with that. Yeah.
And the whole time, who was he fighting? Was he fighting Vettori?
Where he was in his ear.
He was talking to Khabib at the Apex. I don't remember exactly what fight it was, but he was talking to Khabib and just flat ignoring his coaches. And that just shows he doesn't take it serious.
He should have been listening.
He's definitely got to learn to take it serious.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that. I felt like
And now he's already talking about maybe going back to 185, a weight class where he doesn't belong. So I don't know.
I guess we'll see.
We'll see how he does.
Injured right now, so he's out for a minute.
Yeah, for sure.
They're both out for a minute, for sure.
So what about next week's fights? What do you think about those?
Well, I have to. Whenever I take in a fight, I take in the whole thing. like with you. It's like a whole experience.
It's like a whole week experience.
Yeah, it's a
all
whole
week, every evening.
And like the funny thing is we say little things like I'll look at you and I'll be like, "Hey, your fighter's gonna lose this weekend. Just let me know." Like, like run away, or I don't know, just like I feel like I have to take in all one thing and then I have to talk about it, dump it out the window, and take in a whole new fight for the next week. Starting with the embedded, all of the interviews, they're popping up everywhere. Everything, every minute.
Yeah, we've got something to watch after this.
We're probably, we're going to, for sure. I did see Patty, or not Patty Pimblett, Sean O'Malley saying something about Patty, like fluctuation in weight. How are you feeling about Patty this weekend?
I mean, I do think Patty's gonna win, but Jared Gordon is one of my favorite fighters, and so is Patty. But like Jared has been there for a while, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna have to go with Jared Gordon. I'm gonna have to go with him.
Are you?
I am.
We ran around this house 4 times when Patty the Batty won.
Yeah, I know. But I've also gotten pretty excited when Jared Gordon has won as well.
I feel like I'm.
Both guys are awesome.
Yes, either
awesome.
I go for. It's hard sometimes because I want to go for both guys sometimes, and honestly, at that point, I'm more so just rooting for a fight, a good one, because I like both guys.
Yeah.
Or if I really hate another guy, I'm like, oh my god, I'm got so much anxiety. I'm gonna throw up. I'm freaking out. I'm like.
Also, Jared Gordon has one of the best stories in the UFC. Like
it's
one of the best backstories in the UFC. And it's hard for me to not root for a guy like that. You know what I mean?
I love it. I love and Patty also is an advocate for mental health.
Even Patty's got a really good backstory and
I really like
advocates for a lot of really good things, like you said, mental health and stuff.
I really like when people who have these platforms do take a moment to recognize some other things going on with people. That's pretty, like, in your victory, in your moment, you thought of someone else.
Definitely.
That's beautiful. That's great. I like that.
It's one of the best things about this sport. One of the best some of the best moments are when we get to see people like.
They make me cry sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm crying at a sport that's about fighting somebody, hurting each other. I'm crying because it's poetic. What? Yeah. I'm just messed up about it. It's just.
And that's why it's the greatest sport in the world.
Yeah, it's something primal and it's just, you can't not be entertained. Are you entertained?
So I guess the main event next weekend, I'm not happy about it at all. I don't think it should be for it's Ankalaev and Blachowicz. And it's for the vacant light heavyweight title.
Of Yuri.
And I get that Yuri had an injury and everything, but why not just like move the fight up?
Well,
and make it for the interim belt.
Well, I think it was. Are you talking about Yuri's fight or these guys' fight?
I'm talking about what I think they should have done is Glover and Yuri their fight should have just been moved up to a later date, even if it was a year, because honestly both guys deserve it, I believe. And just have Blachowicz and Ankalaev fight for the interim belt, and you still have a pay-per-view. Everything's all good.
From what I remember about when I was hearing about all of this, is that Yuri is a lot of the one that made the call to say, like, I don't want to hold the division up.
Yeah.
And that's honorable, but at the same time, it's like...
At the same time, it's like...
You're just
dishonorable because it kind of fucks Glover, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was thinking at the same time I said it. I was
like this guy is 42, right? Or I think he's 43 now. Like, he does not have very many years left in the UFC.
These older men, and
they're really impressive.
It's crazy.
Like, what they can still do in there.
Another fight that I enjoyed, another winner that I enjoyed seeing win was Angela Hill this weekend, and a lot because, like you said, I really am rooting for her backstory, and I relate, and I understand. Like, I love that about her. She's just so open and honest and real, and I'm happy, like every time I see her, I go for it.
She's definitely one of your favorites.
Yeah, she is one of my favorites. I would have liked to see Tracy Cortez.
Yeah, I was disappointed about that.
But
I think everybody was disappointed about that.
I love Tracy Cortez.
She's the best.
She is the best.
She can be champ one day for sure.
What division is that? Remind me.
I believe she fights in 125. I believe.
Am I wrong? Are we wrong?
We're wrong. Look it up.
Yeah, I got my phone right here. Why not? Why not do that? Yeah, I don't know. Tracy Cortez right there. She isn't alone. She is in the flyweight division.
All right. So there we go.
It's 125. Yep.
125. We were right all along. We didn't even have to look it up.
Wow. See, we second guess ourselves all the time, and the thing is that we know this knowledge deep in the back of our heads.
Yep. So, I guess that we can make this the last question.
What's this? What is this? What is this?
And I'll ask it because it's getting close to the end of the year.
What?
Will we have a fight that tops the one we saw last weekend?
How many more fights do we have?
Let me look that up. I believe only 2, though.
I'm going to say 2. It's only 2 more weekends in December. I don't keep up with dates. Go to my UFC.
I believe it's only 2.
Patty Pimblett.
This is the last pay-per-view.
I don't know about Darren. Who's Darren Till facing?
It doesn't matter. I feel like he's gonna lose. I feel so bad saying that, but
I think Darren Till is funny.
I love Darren Till, but he's just.
I can hardly understand him, though. I ask you a lot. What did he say?
Okay, so we have
Cannonier versus Strickland.
We've got 2 fights left. All right, so we've got
hope Strickland
Sean Strickland and
out.
Jared Cannonier.
I hope
that
knocked
one,
out.
But that one could be really good. That one might be.
He's just nasty.
There's no way that can top this last week's, though. For sure, no way.
If it does, I'm gonna be crazed. Okay.
Me too.
I just think both of them. I'm not like a huge fan of either one of those guys, but
I like Jared Cannonier. I really like Jared.
I like Jared Cannonier, but I'm not like a huge fan. Like, he's not in my top. Yeah. He's not in my top. But I'm like, I'll go for him.
I like
because
him.
I don't care that much for Strickland. He's a nasty.
Nobody likes Sean Strickland.
He's just nasty.
Nobody likes Sean Strickland.
He's nasty. That's like the nicest word I could say. It's the nicest. Anything else I think of, like, that's running through my head right now is just like, I hate that guy. He just gets on my nerves. He's just very
nasty.
There's no other word. That's him.
Yep.
In the dictionary.
You're right. Well, I guess we can end it here, right?
Yep. Yeah, cheers me, because, it's...
With my cold coffee?
With my cold coffee.
That I'm not going to drink. But yeah, I guess we could explain what we're going to try to do. We're just going to... This is going to be us just talking. Us just talking about whatever we want, but mainly MMA. Because that's mostly what we want to talk about anyways.
Sometimes we'll get distracted. We'll get back on topic.
But yeah, I guess you guys check it out, and if you like it, that's really good, and if you don't like it, that's okay.
Yeah. We can smoke and then make podcasts.
We out.
Bye.